Just really proud of the way we gutted it out the win. I mean, obviously we missed 11 free throws, and you don't want to start out at home with shooting 50%, 47% from the free throw line. But I think that was a really good game for us at this early in the season. Samford is a very well coached team, as you can see today. They play 5 guards, 5 out, and that's really tough for our bigs to guard, especially someone like Alo, who has never played this style. So I thought that being able to have Kat, who's versatile enough to play the 4, play the 3, I think that really helped us down the stretch. And I thought Francesca Pond struggled in the first half, but I thought she made big baskets in the second half to give us the go-ahead.
Her length also was big too, shoving down the second half when you made your stretch run.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she got some deflections, which caused us to get some runouts. But I thought Zaire O'Neal was tough inside, hard for them to guard. We made a couple adjustments at halftime and started running a different set and throwing the ball in from the wing instead of the high-low, and I thought she was able to get some easy baskets.
You shortened your bench in the fourth quarter, went with basically most of the players that went for you down the stretch last year, plus Francesca, and it seemed like that's when the team started to gel a little bit and come back.
Well, that's because we had 4 guards in there. We had 4 guards and a post, and Zaire's been in our system for 3 years. Those other post players don't have much experience playing against 5 guards, where Zaire's had to do that here for 3 years. So, when we play games like this, this is a really, especially the first game of the season, this is a very, very good team. And they really cost you to guard 5 people on the perimeter. You saw them get some easy baskets. They make you look like you're not a very good defensive team.
The motion, really.
Yeah, and they hold the ball so long on every possession that there's not very many possessions in the game. And we're a much better team when we can get up and down. And because they score with 5-6 seconds on the shot clock every time, it breaks your back. You play defense for 25 minutes on every possession. You saw us look a little winded. It was because we had to play defense 25 seconds on every possession, and they were hitting shots at the end of the shot clock.
How frustrating was it, especially in the second quarter, the way they were hit? As you mentioned, they went to the possession, then they were hit. They shot like 75% from 3. Were you worried that, or was there a thought that there's no way they can keep this up?
No, I definitely thought they could keep it up. That's why we had to make adjustments. There was no doubt they were going to keep it up. So it was really important that we made some changes at halftime and made some adjustments. But, again, with a team that's got so many new players and it's going to take some time to build that chemistry, I'm really proud of the fact that we came from behind in the fourth quarter and won a game. I mean, that's early in the season.
First half, you were getting the ball down low to Zaire in pretty good position. It seemed like the way the game was being called, they weren't calling those little bumps, that just knocks the shot off just a little bit. But second half, she got a little more open and started to put some hoops in.
Well, they were very physical with Zaire. I mean, she didn't move without getting hit all night. I mean, and I'm sure when I watch the tape, I'm going to see tons of times they were holding her, they were pushing her, they were shoving her. And that's what they have to play when you're undersized in the post, And I thought they did a great job of being very, very physical with her. They had 4 people in double figures. We had 4 people in double figures, but I do think that, our depth did help us. I think Shannon Scott, even though she only got 6 minutes, she gave us key minutes on defense. We were able to sub her and Antonia and give her some rest. And, as we play different types of team with bigger post players, we're going to play more people. Martine, this just wasn't a game for Martine. You could see her big, 6'5" on the perimeter trying to guard a 5'7" guard. I mean, it just was a bad matchup. And so we weren't able to utilize our depth, especially in the post tonight.
You showed your depth. You had a guard. You tried a lot of different players at guard. But come crunch time, Amani was the one that really got it done.
Yeah, I thought Amani did a great job. She stepped up and, she really helped her team. And she made a key jump shot, that go-ahead basket that Zaire kicked out to her. I thought she played with a lot of poise and composure. And again, the biggest thing I see on the stat sheet is our free throw shooting.
You went to the press with about 8 minutes to go in the game, and that seemed to, it started with a 10-second violation. That seemed to be set the tone for the rest of the game.
Well, I felt like because they were making so many threes, we had to wear on their legs a little bit. We had to get them to work hard to get the ball in bounds. We had to make them make cuts, and they had to zigzag us up the floor because times people are shooting the ball that well from three-point line, you got to do something to fatigue them. And we weren't able to run because we had to get the rebound to run. And, we weren't able to rebound the ball, and so we had to do something different. And I thought that the press really helped us.
Was that the strategy with starting the game with the full court press?
Well, we were really passive with our press in the first 2 quarters. And then at halftime, we talked about in the fourth quarter really getting up in them and, making their guards work to get the ball in bounds. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that. And I thought then we got more aggressive defensively and got some tips and deflections.
It seems some of the, shots from three-point land, first game maybe a little jitters, a little tight. It seems like they were short-arming some of those three-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, this was a tough first. We knew it was going to be a tough game for our first opponent, but we chose to do it because we feel like this team. We had to upgrade our schedule, and we felt like this team that we have here is going to be very good, and we just need to challenge them early, and we've got to find out what our weaknesses are and who can play in what situations. Because, again, I've said it all along, we have a lot of new players, and we got to figure out what combinations are going to work against what type of defense.
You talked to Francesca up there in the off season, and you put high expectations on her. How would you say she lived up to it tonight?
Well, I thought the second half. I mean, there's not a lot of freshmen that can have that kind of first half and basically get benched and sit over there and then come out in the second half and make key threes, 2 back-to-back threes, and make plays. Now she's got to work on her free throw shooting. But I thought her defense and her rebounding. She's very mentally tough, and it's taken most of my international players 2 years to get that mentally tough. And I really felt like she came out and really in the second half turned it on, and that's what great players do. She didn't disappear. There's a lot of freshmen that would have disappeared, and I thought for her to come out and finish the game with 12 points and do the things she did, I'm pleased.
Just one thing, you started cashing in turnovers in the second half. Was there anything that was different about
the press?
In the second?
Pressuring them. We just really started picking up our intensity in the press, and we were able to force them to catch the ball pinned against the inline, and that they had to go 94 feet. And before we were just passive and letting them walk the ball up the floor. And so I thought the pressure hurt them.
Of course, they had a short bench, and I imagine they started to wear down, mentally and physically a little bit.
I felt like they were getting tired, and that was another reason why we wanted to press them.
The short turnaround, kind of, is that a concern at all, or?
Yeah, I mean it is, but this is how we have to play in the ACC tournament. This is stuff we're going to have to do. We go to the Bahamas and we play two BCS teams night back to back. So, it's one of those things where we're going to have to do what we need to do. Fortunately for us, it was an early game, and we can get some rest and turn it around.
So this brings your record 13-1 opening. What is it that you do so well to make sure that your teams come out in game one as a winner?
Well, I think one of the things is we try to make practices harder than the games. We practice against guys every day, our gold squad, which makes us tougher. I also think that we're fortunate we've had a lot of great players that have bought into our core values in our program. And, you saw Zaire O'Neal take 3 charges tonight. We pride ourselves in being blue collar and taking charges. And those were key charges that really turned the momentum of the game around. And so I've been very fortunate to coach players that believed in our system.
Great. Thanks.
No problem.